What is up, YouTube? Barry the Baseball Dad coming to you. We're going to be talking about baseball gloves today. Of course, everybody knows the GOAT is the Wilson A2K, but what about some of these custom gloves that you've seen out on the market? We've got one. We're going to show it to you today. Come check it out. All right, so as promised, here's the side-by-side. We've got a Rico. This one is a Star Series. You can see the star right there. This is a Star Series Rico. It is not the Ultra, the higher end of their series. However, it does have the Python stamp, which upgrades the leather on this glove. Then we have the Wilson A2K. See it right there. This one has the Super Scan. Makes it a little bit lighter, a little bit easier to handle. But just for a little side-by-side comparison here, the profile is virtually identical. They do look the same. This one is my son's glove. It is he is a 12U player, middle infielder, as well as a pitcher. This glove has been used for a full year straight. So you can see it's in really good shape. As far as the wrist goes, this one is a youth cut. So it's a little bit tighter for him, fits him perfectly. Mine is the normal cut for the Wilson A2K. Side-by-side comparison is that these gloves look virtually identical from profile standards. Of course, a lot of that has to do with how you break a glove in and where you put your pocket. I did break this one in for him. Mine is maybe 6 to 7 months younger than his is. And of course, I don't catch or field near as much as he does. He is a war daddy when it comes to practice. So this glove here, no joke, in the last year probably has around, I don't know how many thousand reps in it. I couldn't even guess, 10,000, 12,000 reps, whereas mine, not so much at all. And we'll go through each one of these gloves from tip to toe. Again, the profile is staggeringly similar. From top to bottom. Of course, his is a custom. And I know people say, oh, well, you just paid for the name on the side. Guys, I think you're looking at it. It's pretty impressive to see what these two gloves look like and feel like side by side. There is one major difference in these two gloves for sure, and that is the inside of the wrist. I love this foam backing, and it's really a cloth lined foam, and you can see I like that versus the fur, which a lot of gloves have, and you can see his is it's used, it's matted up. Used to be the soft fur, and now it's kind of matted down, which that's what happens over time. However, that to me is one clear advantage between the two gloves. I also want to show you this view from the inside. Of course, mine is not as used as his is, but you can see the interior leather of the glove here and the interior leather of his identical. It's the same. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The only other comparison difference that I can tell, the thickness of the pad at the base of the palm is just millimeters, just a hair thicker on the A2K than it is here. But again, I don't know if that is because his is so much more used than mine is. I can't remember what condition his was in, but very thick on both of them. This one has just a little more thickness to it. Again, the Super Skin is a little lighter. I'm gonna do a side-by-side comparison for weight here in just a minute. We're gonna put them on the scale and see the difference in the weight. This glove is an 11 and a half, and then my son's glove is an 11.25. I'm looking for that. Yep, there we go. 11 and a quarter inches. So I've heard some people talk about durability, like, oh, these gloves are cheap, or they're gonna fold over. Does that look? This glove has been game abused, and it is obviously right there alongside a glove that's, obviously I don't play. I go out and play catch. The one thing I can say about taking care of this glove is I do condition it for him. This glove's been conditioned twice since last October, which is a full year ago. And then I just lightly touched it up just a minute ago before I did this. You can see it's got a little bit of a shine to it, but nothing major. I don't goop it on. You just want to keep that leather in its natural state. So it is a little shinier than the A2K right now. That's just because it's got I'll do just a dab of this and work like a whole finger would be just a little tiny dab. But I do want to take a look at this leather here. You can see this is thick. Okay, it's the same quality leather from this interior right here. Now the stamped leather is a full steer hide. There's no cow in it, it's just steer. We're talking about the male versus the female. I think it's a pretty dope look, the way that it's made versus this, which is actually, I read up on this Super Skin, and it really originated as a Wilson basketball material, but it's really durable, really, really light. And so I'm interested to see in the weight comparison between these two. As you can see, mine's got a little bit of palm wear in it. So it's starting to fade a little bit in there, especially you can see the palm wear there, or the web wear there. I'm sure if I go back and condition that a little bit, that black's gonna pop out on that. So no big deal there. Anyone who has a glove knows. I got a little scuff right there. Need to take care of that. But same for the Rico. Again, it's not that bad. You see the inside lining of the fingers there. Again, that's just wear. But any glove that you really, really use the heck out of is gonna have some palm wear in it, especially if you don't condition it right. So I wanna talk about the wrist size of these gloves. The Wilson A2K, it's a full size. I've got big O hands, you can see that. Big hands, so I had to stretch that out. I had to stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch to stretch that out to make it feel right. And I know some guys are really wearing it out on the end a lot more, but even that, you can see my thumb having to push through that quite a bit. With his, this is a youth cut, and I have a really, really hard time getting my hand in it, but I can. And the point is I think this is a glove that can transition from a youth glove into junior high at least. So I don't see him having another glove for the next 2 years. I think this is going to be his infield glove for sure for the next 2 years. We'll get him an outfielder to match it as he starts to get into some high school ball. But so there it is. You can see I am The profiles are incredible. The only thing I can do with this glove right now is I'm going to take it and have it relaced. Not because the laces need it. The laces are thick. They are very similar to the A2K in terms of thickness and feel. Just that I'm gonna relace this thing for him every year, just so that he can. You see, it's a little loose right there, and that's not the leather. That is the lace. So I'm gonna relace that bad boy for him at the end of each season, not because the leather needs it, but just to give it that tighten up and keep it in the condition that it's in. Now, am I saying that an A2K is the same as a Rico? No, I do believe that the leather on the A2K it's just that it's the GOAT, man. It's just that step above of everyone else. It is the choice of the choice. There's no doubt about it. You feel it when you're holding it. However, is it really that much of a separator to take away from a glove that is tailor-made for a youth player? So I truly believe right now that I asked my son if between these two gloves, which one he would rather have. I even offered to give him mine, and he chose this one. But because I think it's the size he needs, it's the fit he needs. This one's the GOAT. It is what it is. But again, this glove has not been used virtually at all in comparison to this glove. Just is what it is. All right, so we'll weigh them up, and that'll be the end of the video. All right, everybody, here we're gonna weigh in these two gloves, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my son's Dirty South dinger here. So it's got 21.3. We'll get rid of that, set it back to 0. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place a glove on top of the bat here. So 19.8 ounces for the Wilson A2K. Again, 19.8 ounces. We'll get rid of that one. Back to 0. 18.9 ounces for the Rico. So the Wilson is a 1/4 of an inch longer. Okay, 18.9 for the Rico. And it has the super skin, which is designed to make it lighter. And there's just a little more leather on this glove than the Rico, but for a youth glove, the Rico actually is lighter than it is. Plus, I just conditioned the Rico. So there you go. That's the difference in the weight. So I was a little shocked by the weight there, especially considering the A2K that I have has the super skin on it. I truly thought that the Wilson A2K was going to come in lighter than the Rico, even though the Wilson is a 1/4 of an inch longer. That's a small amount. I really thought because of the super skin that the Wilson was going to come in lighter, and it didn't. So in terms of a youth glove that's cut for a kid and it's a full ounce lighter, you know, that's just another separator there for folks to decide on. You know, I'm not paid to do this. I'm just a dad, and I'm a dad who cuts no costs when it comes to my son's baseball gear. Boom ball bag, dinger, CF Zen, that's what he rolls with in his bag, and he could have any glove that he wants, and Rico is what he chooses. So I have to admit that going into this, that's his choice, and so that's why we roll with it more than anything. But I wanted to give an honest comparison, and I feel like we've done that on both of the gloves. So choice is yours, and that's a wrap. Thanks for stopping by.